No one knew that 1914 would end in stalemate. In an attempt to break out of the trenches, all kinds of inventions, some more medieval than modern, were tried. Iron netting to protect eyes from flying shrapnel. Bullet-stopping body armor. Mobile encasements for advancing across no man's land. All were totally useless. The best they could do was to continue digging into the earth. Soldiers who thought the war would be over by Christmas found themselves living in ditches.
The first thing was it smelled bad. It smelled bad because there were open latrines everywhere. They weren't always used by the troops. There were bodies rotting everywhere. Both the Germans and the British were troubled with rats. The rats ate corpses, then they came in and snuggled next to you while you were sleeping. Study becomes one of your few amusements. You never see your enemy. The only thing you can see is the sky up above, actually.
Living in the trenches, some men thought, was like being buried alive. To stay sane, soldiers sang songs, wrote letters home, and relied on their humor.
I've a little wet home in a trench, where the rainstorms continually drench. There's a dead cow close by, with her feet in towards the sky, and she gives off a terrible stench. Underneath, in the place of a floor, there's a mass of wet mud and some straw. But with shells dropping there, there's no place to compare with my little wet home in the trench.
But the brutality of war could not be laughed away. The German soldier, Franz Blumenfeld, wrote home of the strain of living in a trench. A few yards away, the British and French were enduring the same hardships. To stay alive, soldiers conspired to limit the killing. It was called Live and Let Live.
Command made it clear that a certain number of shells had to go over every day in order to make life miserable for the enemy. But okay, you sent them over at that time of day when the enemy would not be having dinner. You wouldn't fire it at a position where you were likely to hurt many of the enemy. You actually hadn't done the enemy a lot of damage, but then he hadn't done you a lot of damage, and therefore you would live to fight another day.
Dear Mother, I have now got so used to the life here that I am extremely sorry that I wrote you such a miserable letter at first. We neither shoot nor are shot at much. Our occupations consist chiefly in sleeping, eating, playing chess, writing letters, and reading the paper. When someone makes music on a harmonica, and the others softly or loudly hum the same tune, really, it can be astonishingly snug. You see, it is quite a pleasant life. Franz.
Live and Let Live did not save the life of Franz Blumenfeld. He was killed 11 days before Christmas. One of 1 million soldiers who died on the Western Front in 19...